Diablo 4 is back. Let the haters know that this is the beginning of the comeback. Season 11 was actually not fully dog watered. Now, it kind of was, but it wasn't that superly bad. But it kind of still was. In any case, Diablo 4 is on its redemption path. That's right. Starfield refused to do a redemption story, but Diablo 4, oh boy. With the feminist, woke, propaganda spewing, political pandering devs, I'm sure they will do a comeback any day now. Any day now.
Season 11 is doing something I did not expect. Diablo 4 is winning back players. Like, in a big way. Everyone loves the Paladin. Crafting is now giving people genuinely...
By the way, imagine you reveal a whole new class, and the reality is no one gives a shit. And also, I just want to say, I haven't played the class. I have the expansion, and I have not even played the Spiritborn. It just looks ass. It looks boring, okay? The Paladin looks a little bit better, but I'm not gonna lie. The Paladin was exactly what I expected from Blizzard. Low tier, already existing copy of Diablo 3's Paladin. That's number one. And number two, an absolute insult to intelligence. They made the Paladin so ridiculously one-dimensionally easy that even someone with legitimately 30 IQ can probably make the best build in seconds. You can throw the dice and randomly click and you're still gonna have all of the right things for a build. They made it so ridiculously bad, it's actually insane. Like, the Paladin is the greatest insult to my intelligence Blizzard has done yet. I'm sure Blizzard can do worse. I'm sure they fucking will, in fact. I'm sure they will. But the Paladin so far has legitimately been the most insulting thing I have seen in my life. I mean, they did... With the Paladin, the skill twig is no longer a twig. It's just a line. It's literally just a line. It's impossible to get anything wrong. It's impossible to not pick exactly the things you're supposed to pick. It is insane how absolutely rudimentarily poor and boring the Paladin looks on every conceivable level. Blizzard truly have outdone themselves.
Stupid god roll moments. And Blizzard quietly hid a secret Uber Tristram style mega fight in the game and just let the community stumble upon it like it's 2005 again. Meanwhile, over in Path of Exile 2, we've got the Druid landing strong, no rest for the Wicked finally getting its co-op with free dedicated servers, Silksong casually announcing a free expansion, because of course they did, and we'll be ending the video on Riker. Starting with Diablo 4, Season 11 has been a huge success. I'm really surprised at just how successful it has been.
Whoa, look at this. This will only cost you probably $300. Better buy it while it's hot, boys. You wouldn't want to be a non-slop consumer, would you?
Everyone seems to love it. Everyone loves the Paladin. Sure, it being overpowered is part of what makes people love it, but you know, the armor designs are probably the best in the game. I actually prefer the free armor transmogs to
this is tier 96. This is peak Diablo gameplay right here. Listen, okay? You have all the consumables that you don't want to consume because they're boring, dull, and do nothing. And then you just stun the enemies until they die. And it's a race against the clock. Do you have enough damage to stun the enemies and kill them before the timer runs out? It's such exciting gameplay. I don't know what to do with myself.
Ones.
Look at this.
Part. The gameplay is fun. The design of the class allows for different theory crafted builds. Cool.
Yes, exactly. Like maybe two. Very cool.
Nations. And the number of people I've seen return because of the Paladin is incredible. So many people who said that they were on the fence.
I mean, they literally dropped. Wait, actually, is that even true? Or is it just more bots? Diablo 4 Steam DB. Let's check out the Steam DB. to see if Riker Senpai is lying. It looks like Riker's lying. Oh no! It's oh no! It's a tragedy. It's not true. Look at this. Okay. So, sharing screen. This is the Steam DB, right? A solid 60% positive reviews. Beautiful. And this has been the Steam DB. And in before, some person who has a lower IQ than a toaster oven says, but most people play it on Battle.net. Yes, most people probably do. I mean, probably 5 times more. Because Battle.net has lost all meaning. It's filled with ads. It's filled with shit that you want to know. It's annoying. Battle.net used to be good because it didn't have that, and it was just a nice place where you could play all your Blizzard garbage. But now it's just garbage. Look at this. So we have September. Yeah, it's September, October. Actually, let's just put in the last month. Okay, so we had this. It's the launch, and I mean, this is as good as it gets for bot activity. Yeah, look at this. That's some prime time bot activity, boys. Again, remember, the lower the difference between the peak and the minimum, the higher the game is being botted. And Diablo 4 is currently getting botted like there is absolutely no tomorrow, boys. Again, Elon Musk needs to buy his items, and with the sanctification, those items cost a lot of money. Oh yeah. So, Diablo 4 is not getting more players than usual. It's actually pretty much the same, as you can see. I guess it's this is not what you listen. This is not what you want to see when you launch a new class. 41k and you can't even top your peak. That is not what you want to see. Okay, look at this. The last 24 hours. Jesus Christ, that botting is insane in this game. Well, that just goes to show you, by the way. And if you think that, by the way, this is not botting, here's a logic puzzle for you. Considering on Steam the peak was 55k, and now it's literally the retention for this game is honestly absolutely astonishing considering you consider the peak. You know, it hasn't lost 50% of its player base in literally 2 years. That would mean we have absolutely no reason to believe that it's different on Battle.net. So, Diablo 4 sold like 20, 30 million copies in its first release week. Or more, or something like that. Or faster, I don't remember. But it was a lot. If Steam has this insane of a retention that's above 50% in literally 2 years, which Baldur's Gate 3 can't even get, that means probably it's the same on Blizzard, the Blizzard launcher, because why would it be different? Why would it be different? It has no reason to be different. They're a mirror of each other. So, that means that Diablo 4 should be actively played by literally, I don't know, something like 10 million players minimum. But for some reason, no one's really playing it. Strange how that happens. Strange how these things happen. But in any case, I digress. Maybe I'm wrong. Who honestly knows? Maybe the guy who has been right about virtually everything is wrong suddenly. It happens.
It's about getting Vessel of Hatred, and just instantly pre-ordered Lord of Hatred. So many returning players coming back from like Season 1, Season 2. Again, Paladin is overtuned right now. The Castle Legendary Paragon node, just by itself, like, is accounting for a lot of that power. It's probably about 10 times stronger than it should be. This is the node that gives you damage based on your armor, and I've seen a theory that Castle was balanced around the previous state of defenses, prior to the defense rework, back when we only needed 1,000 armor. And if you really want to try stacking as much armor as possible, you can maybe reach about 5,000. And at 5,000 armor, Castle will be giving about 90% more damage, which would make it...
Okay, boys, listen. Riker, I'm sorry for disturbing you for yapping, but this is some kind of site where you can buy Diablo 4 items. and I clicked all and legendary. Actually, craftic mythic runes? I don't know. But whatever. Look at this. 10% discount. 46 euros. 46, 46, 46. It seems that this is the price, but look at this. That bot activity in this bad boy is insane. Okay? 17 euros, 11 euros, 10 euros. Again, Diablo 4 botting is absolutely out of control. And we can, this is softcore. If we look at hardcore, it's probably even more insane. Oh, hardcore can, well, actually, let's then check what are gems. What are gems? Look at that. 2.5 euro. Dude, I should run some bots in Diablo 4. Like, my god. Elixirs, what are elixirs? Shit. Who even buys this? Who even buys this? $34 for a thing that lasts for 15 minutes. There's probably an Elon Musk that does buy this. 15. Oh my god. Eternal softcore, eternal hardcore. Why are these things so expensive? Wow, look at this. $46 dollarinos. That is insane. Crafted mythic runes. $6 gems. Uniques. Let's go, uniques. Again, 40. Dude, I should. Bruv. Some kind of boost. Mythic unique boost. Oh my god, you can buy so much. That is insane. That is insane. Junk for salvage. Jesus, look at this. That is peak, okay? Listen. No one. I don't want any one of you telling me oh, Diablo 4 is not botted. You're crazy.
About on par with the other Paladin legendary nodes and not, you know, like 20 times stronger.
Also, I checked that these Diablo 4 sites that sell items time to time, and this is not even it, by the way, because you can sell some even more insane items. Like, the super high roll ones cost in the hundreds, as far as I have heard. Okay? So this is not even the peak. This is just, like, the casual pay-to-win store.
Than that, so I think this theory kind of makes sense. Still, even with Paladin being overtuned, it's not a Spiritborn situation, right? Spiritborn on launch was 1 million times stronger than all other classes because of bugs. The Paladin is the strongest class, but it's nowhere, like, insanely overpowered. And balancing Castle, just that alone is going to resolve a lot of the issues. But Paladin aside, the season itself is lots of fun. They've added so many wow moments. Just surprisingly fun things that can happen that everyone gets excited about. People are discovering the nightmare dungeons with the purple affix on it, the mythic prankster. It spawns a goblin when you kill.
Also, goblins are probably the thing I hate about Diablo 4 the most, because this is just peak consumerism in Diablo format, okay? And it's goblins. I hate goblins so much. Because the whole game is like, oh, get a goblin, get a little goblin, be excited. Ooh, a mythic rare goblin, a goblin that drops money. Blah, blah, blah. I hate goblins so much. Goblins are literally the downfall of Diablo 4. I'm not even joking. The goblins represent absolutely everything wrong with Diablo as it is.
It drops 5 mythics and a spark for all players inside. And speaking of surprises, they just snuck in without fanfare an entire Uber fight, reminiscent of the Uber Tristram event back in D2. You have to collect 4 very rare components, bring them to 4 altars hidden throughout the world, and that opens a portal to fight Uber versions of the 4 lesser evils in a mega fight with incredible loot. It's just so awesome that they added this without telling us.
Wow.
And I think this is the perfect way to add aspirational content to the game. Most players...
Is it actually aspirational? I will assume it's not.
Won't know it's there. But the most dedicated players will know about it, and they're going to take it on as a challenge. When you had Uber Lilith back around launch, right? Uber Lilith ended up getting nerfed. It was like the only aspirational content.
Was Uber Lilith actually nerfed? I don't think she was. They just made it so skills she casts are choreographed, not completely like garbage. I think that was it, was it not?
That in the game, and they made it easier so that everyone can do it because people complained. But the reason people complained was because every player, as soon as you hit level, well, whatever level it was, you get a quest, go do Uber Lilith. So the game is telling you, go do this thing, and
Also
the
true.
implication is you ought to be able to do this, you being everyone. It did not give the impression of being an optional, aspirational fight. But when you add in a secret fight like this, average player who isn't looking at Reddit threads or YouTube videos or Twitch streams isn't even going to know it exists, and therefore he's not going to ask for it to be nerfed. It's like back in the D2 days, a lot of us, we knew that this Uber Tristram event existed, maybe we didn't know exactly how it worked, and we didn't really mind that we couldn't go do the Ubers ourselves. We knew that was just for like the top elite players. Now, for those who do want to experience this yourselves, you know how you've been collecting all these lesser evil corrupted materials? Then you go to that Aspirational area and you spend them opening those chests. Well, sometimes some of you may have gotten a purified version of those same corrupted materials and wondered, what do I do with this? Well, you need one of each of those very rare drop purified materials, which you get in the same way you get the corrupted ones. Again, it's just a very rare drop. So once you have one of each of the 4, you then have to sacrifice them at the 4.
Does this look fun? Does this look fun? No.
Hidden altars throughout the world. One for each. That'll open up a portal, and you go fight much more challenging versions of the lesser evils. And the first time you conquer this fight, you get some guaranteed loot. A resplendent spark, a horse trophy cosmetic, a tribute of ascendance, a ton of ancestral gear, and more loot. Now, one person has to be the one doing all the altar sacrifices. You can't be in a party and have like one guy do 2 and the other guy do 2. One person's got to do them all, because only that one person sees the portal and could go through the portal. His party, though, can then teleport to him once he's gone through the portal. So you could do this in a group of 4, but one
that sounds like a bug.
person is the leader. It was just so cool that Blizzard added this and left it for the community to discover and figure out how to access it and what it does. Because it started off, we're seeing these things. It's like, well, what does this do? What do I do with this? And then people started to find the altars. At first, just one was found, and it's like, oh, well, here's an altar. Like, oh, well, maybe there's more altars. And eventually, all the altars were found, and eventually, people figured out what it accessed. Now, outside of those uber lesser bosses, lair bosses this season feel a lot better to do, because you get good XP from killing them. So even if you don't get the item drops that you want, hey, at least you're getting XP. Leveling 1 to 60 this season is the best it's ever been. The capstone dungeons are a nice...
What do you mean it's the best it has ever been? Is it instant? Do we not have to level anymore? Because no one likes leveling.
challenge while being well designed. And since we don't start with a dozen skill points, and we're instead earning the skill points via challenges, progression feels...
Ah, yes, challenges. Diablo 4 and challenges. Two birds that don't mix.
satisfying. Crafting is so much better now. No more frustration with masterworking resets, while still retaining the fun of getting a random capstone at the end. No more frustration from temper rolling, with now the added excitement of landing a temper crit. The divine gift mechanic. It's making us do a variety of different activities in the game. Sure, it's not as fun as Season 10. I do miss the Chaos Rifts. Those were the tops. Hopefully those come back in some way, shape, or form. But still, with a divine gift mechanic, we're kind of going all over the place, doing multiple things in the game. We're not just stuck slamming pits, for instance, for XP. We're not just doing lair bosses for uniques. We're going everywhere, doing everything. Nothing ever feels like it's a waste of time. You're either progressing your divine gifts, or you're getting keys for other activities, or loot, or something useful to you somehow. Because basically with the divine...
God forbid even a single second passes by when a player plays Diablo 4 and is not rewarded with like 15 different fucking things that all mean nothing because they're granted to you for free. God forbid that happens.
gifts, the more you do any activity, the more rewarding that activity becomes. And this is likely a preview of what we can expect from war tables in the expansion. War tables are probably going to be like a version of this that's...
I will actually try when they... what is it? The new expansion, was it? Because the VOD tables actually just look like a ripoff of Last Epoch, and Last Epoch is a good game.
10 times more.
Now, granted, I don't think Blizzard is even capable of ripping off anything at this point. They would fuck it up anyway, but still, point being...
complex and interesting. And by the way, folks, to level up those divine gifts, in case you're confused, to level up your Duriel gifts, kill monsters in Helltide, as well as, especially, Duriel in Helltide. Whether you summon him or not, you can also open Duriel's Horde to progress his gifts when you fight him as a lair boss. To progress the Belial gifts, kill monsters in pits, summon Belial as the boss in the pit by popping his eyes in the pits. I think you gotta pop 5 of them. It'll say on the right how many you gotta do. And of course, you can also progress his gifts by defeating him as a lair boss and opening his chest. For Andariel, you run Undercity tributes. Killing monsters in the Undercity will progress the gifts, but especially killing Andariel at the end, that gives the most progress. So definitely run any key that you have that guarantees her as a spawn. You can still get her randomly, but there's some guaranteed spawns.
I like how also Diablo 4 has made all of the prime evils and lesser evils just like repeatable basic mob that you can fucking kill, and they have no impact on anything. Like, you're summoning one of the prime evils on lesser evil, and it's like, oh, it's just a farming activity. It's insane.
And you can also get progress for her from her lair boss chest. And then Azmodan is really the toughest. You get the most progress from killing him as a world boss, but that's only when he shows up. He shows up fairly often, right? But you don't have agency in making that happen more often. Otherwise, you get a lot less progress from killing him as the summoned Azmodan, which you could theoretically chain over and over. And then you also get a bit of progress from fighting just monsters out in the overworld that are not linked to any other activity. So not Helltide ones, just like random nothing monsters. And I gotta say, leveling up this divine gift sucks. No one wants to roam around the overworld just to farm the Azmodan progress. It's not part of our regular gameplay loop like all the other things are, right? We have reason to do all the...
You see that? The moment there is even a slight bit of work to be put into acquiring something, instantaneously the worst mechanic in the game. Instantaneously, everyone hates it the most. Diablo 4 is just non-stop instant gratification times 100, and the moment it's not, the mouth breathers who are playing this are unhappy.
Other things that are inherently rewarding activities. Running around in the overworld is no one wants to do that. And you get so little progress as well from summoning Azmodan. And it takes so long to defeat Azmodan, not because it's a challenging fight, but because...
Yeah, because it takes more than 1 second. Oh no, horror.
Because the silly mechanic that just inflates how much life he has or nerfs our damage or whatever. Like on Torment 4, the fight takes a couple of minutes. And so what you see actually is people running this on normal, because you get the same amount of progress towards your gift, but at least on normal, he dies instantly. So the kind of gameplay that's being promoted is people putting up Oradin bots that are just AFK builds. They plop them at the Azmodan spawn and then go do other things while hopefully other players are spawning Azmodan and he just dies instantly. And even then, it takes ridiculously long to farm up the reputation. So that's one of my gripes about the season. It's a small thing, though, in the grand scheme of things, right? You don't need to level up your Azmodan gifts. You don't need to go out of your way to do it. If you do go out of your way to do it, right? If you are going to just mindlessly farm it that way, it's miserable. But even if you don't go out of your way to do it, it's going to take an eternity to do. And I'm not inherently opposed to something taking long to do. It's just so disproportionate compared to the other gifts.
The fact that it's disproportionate and instantaneously makes it bad is insane. That actually does make it that you just don't want to do it, and that's it.
If they all took super long, then I'd understand. But it's like, it just feels something is wrong with this Azmodan one, that it takes so much longer. So again, that's one of my gripes with this season. Not a big deal, definitely not a deal breaker. Another gripe would be that I'm still not convinced that the new defense system is better than the old one. The recommended toughness levels are not helpful. They are woefully inadequate for the current state of what...
Of course they aren't helpful. Like, the idea that the 50 fucking struggle IQ concept of toughness that is a combination of your life pool, your mitigations, your resistance, your movement speed, your little everything, is actually gonna be somehow a reliable way to tell if you're actually, taking enough for the content is insane. I'm just gonna say that right now. It's absolutely insane. It's beyond insane, in fact. And the fact that the Blizzard devs are like, yes, let's make it into one number that goes up is also, again, every single thing that the Diablo 4 does is just a insult to your intelligence.
The game throws at us with all its crazy affixes and effects. I still have people asking me all the time what toughness they should go for, because they don't understand what is a good amount of life or armor or resistance to have.
No one does,
that was
probably.
My enjoyment of the season, randomly getting one shot out of nowhere at world bosses. Very early on, I thought my defenses weren't high enough, until I realized that it was actually the Divine Gift meteorites that were killing me, possibly from other players, possibly from Thorn's damage. It ultimately doesn't matter, but unequipping that Divine Gift solved the problem, but if you unequip the Divine Gift, you don't benefit from the reward. Blizzard released a patch on Thursday that was meant to fix this. It did not fix this, so now they just disable the meteorites altogether while they work on fixing it, so you still get the reward, you just don't get the evil meteorites anymore, so that's good.
Then,
sanctification. Wow, what a turnaround from PTR. Sanctification could produce some really incredible outcomes. Things that are worthy of sharing with the world, like getting a double Shaco. I've seen people sanctify the mythic power of the Harlequin's Crest onto a Harlequin's Crest, and they stack. So that's a whopping +8 to all skills. In general, Sanctify has been really successful as a mechanic.
Well, of course it is. By the way, they're gonna mess up Sanctify at some point. Sanctify is an actual Path of Exile mechanic where you just have an item and you have this thing that can either break it, make it slightly more better, or make it amazing, and you see what happens. And what do you know? The only mechanic that is actually Path of Exile-like in Diablo 4, instantaneous success and people like it. It's a good mechanic. It's risk-reward, and sometimes the reward is really good. Most of the time, the best reward is shit, but, maybe you get something super cool. There's always an option, and that's just great. That's just great. But, again, Blizzard will ruin this, because I have seen the double Shaco, I have seen the grandfather defect. There's going to be two groups of pissed people. One, the people who are trying to push ranking. Is that even possible now? But whatever, the people who want to push the rankings, they're going to be pissed that it's RNG and they can't get the effect that they want. So they're going to complain to Blizzard. And then the casual fucking Diablo 4 dad who literally spends 1/1000 playtime of other people is gonna also be, why can't I get the double tackle? I want the double tackle also. Blizzard. Yes, it's gonna happen because of course this is gonna happen. We have already seen this how many times, by the way? How many mechanics Blizzard has already nerfed in Diablo 4 that are actually hard to get? Well, let's start counting. Rare Material Acquisition, Resplendent Spark Acquisition, Mythic Rare Acquisition, Potion Crafting Materials, every sort of material in general, Game Acquisition, Key Acquisition, Socketable Material Acquisition. I'm pretty sure some reputations also have gotten nerfed. All of these things have been nerfed because people complain that they can't get it, or it's too hard, or it requires effort. Boss summoning, boss mechanics, boss material amount needed to do it. Everything that requires effort has been nerfed. So sanctification, enjoy it while it lasts, boys, because it's on its way out. Blizzard will kill it. Just give them a little bit of time. Or they're gonna make it so everyone can have the cool effects. Well, that's effectively what they're gonna do. They're just gonna kill it like that. It's that easy. It's just that easy, boys. What can I say? It's just that easy. Again, all of my predictions about Diablo have been sadly right. So I don't see the reason why this is not going to be right. Anyway, that was Riker, 10 out of 10. Bye.